What are you here talking about at the Bulletproof Conference?
I'm talking about endurance performance. So I'm talking about what it takes to be better at burning fat, so that you can perform better in not just endurance sports, but in life in general, at work, perform better at work, have more energy throughout the day. It all comes down to how well you burn fat, and that's kind of what I teach people how to do.
What are some, you've written the Primal Blueprint. What are some blueprint principles that you can give my audience here, takeaways that they can put into action in their own life to get better at burning fat?
Well, it basically gets down to eliminating sugars and simple carbs, probably point number one. And I think a lot of people get that by now. It gets down to reconfiguring how you train so that you don't overtrain. But in fact, a lot of people are now dialing back their training to lower heart rates than they're used to. So I know a lot of people going to the gym right now are like cranking it out on the treadmill. They're doing multiple classes all day long and thinking because they're sweating that they're improving their fitness performance or health and they're burning fat, when in fact sometimes they're doing almost the exact opposite. They're almost encouraging their bodies to hold on to fat.
Wow.
So this is what we talk about. You reduce the amount of carbohydrate in your diet to where you literally force your body to start to burn fat as fuel, and then you train in a way that uses that fat and utilizes it as fuel for energy instead of relying on carbohydrates and glucose and glycogen and all of that stuff.
That's so interesting. Back when I was first, beginning my, my athleticism in the gym, I've always been terrible at sports. My exercise has always come from, I've always been terrible. Unlike you, I am just, on the field, I'm like a chicken with its head cut off. But one thing that I've always heard is that we need fat to burn in a carbohydrate flame.
Yeah, that's the classic. Fat burns a carbohydrate flame. And the truth is, you don't need that much carbohydrate to get good at burning fat. What you need is you need to be able to access your stored body fat. The problem is, throughout life, we eat so much carbohydrate, we eat so much sugar. It's waffles or toast and orange juice for breakfast. It's sandwiches, it's chips, it's potatoes, it's pasta.
It's just a never-ending tsunami of glucose.
And so all the body says, look, I got all this sugar, I got to burn it off. I'd rather burn off the sugar than dip into my fat stores. So the body never really gets a chance to learn how to burn fat. Once you start to cut back on the carbs you take, especially the unhealthy carbs, especially the sugars, again, the breads, the pastas, the cereals, and things like that. I'm not talking about eliminating vegetables. I'm not talking about eliminating some of the tubers. But basically the processed crap that we eat, once you eliminate that stuff, the body goes, oh, wow, I'm not getting that much sugar. Maybe I ought to start dipping into my fat reserves, burning the fat for fuel, and using that for energy instead of having to get hungry every couple of hours to have more carbohydrate.
Super interesting. Okay, so some takeaways. We want to reduce our carbohydrate intake to allow our body the opportunity to tap into its fat stores. Our body's adipose tissue, our fat, essentially the body's firewood is what you're saying. It's there to be burned.
Yep. The fact that we can only store 2,000 calories worth of carbohydrate in our body, but we can store 50,000 calories worth of fat on us.
50,000.
Or 150,000 in case of some people. But so fat has this sort of unlimited storage capacity. Basically our factory setting at birth is to be good at burning fat, and we screw it all up by introducing so much of this carbohydrate-based food so early in our lives.
Wow, so interesting. And what about the idea that we need to eat more fat to get our body's fat-burning machinery going?
Well, when you withhold carbohydrate, you almost automatically, in order to get the calories in, you have to increase the amount of fat. Now, we're not talking about unhealthy fats. We're talking about increasing, avocado oil, coconut, butter in some cases, grass-fed meats. There are a lot of sources of healthy fats, and the body does crave healthy fats.
Right.
But it's true. When you present more fat to the body as a substrate, as a fuel to burn, the body will accept that and say, look, okay, you're withholding sugar. We don't have that much carbohydrate. Let's learn how to burn fat. So the body actually builds the metabolic machinery to burn fat, and over a period of a few weeks, it upregulates these genes that build protein, that create enzyme systems that take fat out of storage and burn it and use it for fuel, and kind of eliminates that need to have to eat every couple of hours.
And that's what people have been, calling fat adaptation, becoming fat adapted. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Man, this is so awesome. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them. Mark is a very busy man. He's a speaker here at the Bulletproof Conference, so I've only got him for a few minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to post them. I have a question. So, another one of these things that I've been hearing for as long as I've been working out is that you have to eat carbs post-workout. And that has always, been a bit of a source of dissonance for me as somebody who loves to go and exercise. Do I need to go and slam carbs post-workout?
No, well, so here's the thing. If you plan to do another hard workout tomorrow,
yeah,
and you probably are going to want to slam some carbs. But the way we look at training is I'm training to get stronger and fitter and leaner over a period of time. And if I could do that without having to work out hard every single day, then that would be a better thing for me. I get to recover in between my workouts. I get to build muscle. I get to burn more fat. So if you're going to plan to go to the gym every single day, if you're going to work out hard every single day, then yeah, you probably are going to want to replenish your glycogen stores by eating more carbohydrates. If you get into this ability where you become fat adapted, a couple things happen. Number one, you don't have to work out every day. It's like if you do the work on one day, you take the next day off or do something different the next day, so you don't have to replenish the glycogen. Even if you eat fat and protein, your body's going to replenish the glycogen over a period of 2 or 3 days.
Right.
2 or 3 days is enough to get you ready to do the next hard workout. So it's only when you're working out hard every single day that you go, okay, I guess I better replenish those glycogen stores. But I don't want to work out hard every day. I'm doing this so I can be stronger, not beat up.
A more robust organism.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yvonne asks, what if your goal is not to burn fat? I mean, but wouldn't you say that a fat-burning metabolism is a healthier metabolism?
Yeah, I mean, we say in the medical community now that the less sugar you burn in a lifetime, probably the longer you'll live and the healthier you will be.
Because fat is a cleaner burning fuel source.
That's a cleaner burning fuel source. So, you might say, well, yeah, most people are good at burning sugar already. That's what they've done their whole lives. That's what most of American society has done for the last 50 years. But sugar doesn't burn that clean, and it causes reactive oxygen species, which are like, you've heard of free radical damage. Well, that can prematurely age you over time. So one of the reasons to become good at burning fat is because you create more mitochondria where the fat burns, and then you have access to this energy without having to burn through glucose and do so in a manner that creates free radical damage and aging. Most people that I talk to want to burn fat. If you don't want to burn fat, then I don't have that much great advice for you, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. Guys, you should definitely all go check out Mark's work, his books, and I'm really excited about your latest venture, which I'm a huge fan of, Primal Kitchen.
Yeah,
I love your products.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, just incredible stuff. I'm a user. I can honestly say that it's all really good. My last question for you is, how has your thinking evolved? I mean, you put out the Primal Blueprint a couple years ago. I mean, what are you these days most obsessed about in terms of knowing as much as you can about?
Well, no. I mean, what I'm most obsessed about now is enjoying life. I have all this technology that can allow us to be healthy and to have more energy and to not get sick that often, and all that's great. But my real focus now is how do I extract the greatest amount of pleasure, fulfillment, contentment out of each moment possible, whether that's finding ways to play instead of grueling exercise, whether that's enjoying the time with my family and friends, whether that's just free time out on a hike or out on a paddleboard, a stand-up paddleboard. How can I have fun? How can I enjoy life rather than, oh my God, what's the biochemistry behind having a 8% body fat?
It's all about balance.
Yeah.
It's all about balance. All right, guys. Well, please check out Mark's work. It was a real pleasure talking to you,
thanks,
and I'm so happy to be friends.
Okay.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.